Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back. It's Paula here with Paula's Imperfect Plans, and I'm back for another video. Today we are going to be setting up our budget for our paycheck budget that we will receive on May 3rd. May is a magic month for us, which is, I always think is a little bit exciting. It doesn't change our budgeting a whole heck of a lot, but it does a little bit. So I didn't share a lot about this in any previous videos, because when I filmed any of the last ones from like payday stuff, it was kind of up in the air yet. But my last paycheck, we ended up going super bare bones on it to pull out as much cash as we could have. I don't know if how much I've shared on here, but my husband's daily driver is like a 2005 Honda Odyssey van, which is a van with over 200,000 miles on it, and it's worked fine for us. It's at the point where it's on my radar that we're going to need another, it's probably coming to the point where we might need, it's got a transmission leak and it has a couple things wrong with it that he's kind of like, I'm just going to let it ride because I don't really want to put much more money into it at this point. Anyway, all that to say, my aunt happened to be selling her vehicle, which it was just a few years newer. So it's like a 2008. It's a Toyota Highlander. So it's still older. It's something that we could pay cash for once we rounded up the cash from some places. And it's just in a lot better shape. She took very good care of it. Her husband also has a background as a mechanic, and I know that it is very clean, no rust, which is not the case with our van. Anyway, so we went super bare bones with that budget, plus a little bit of tax refund, and then I went ahead and pulled out. I had done like a $600 and some odd to $700 deposit into our medical sinking fund. Because of a reimbursement we got from a medical bill, I pulled that out. And then my husband turned around and sold his van. So with all those few things together, we were able to pool enough cash. So it's taken me a little while to get this May 3rd paycheck budget done, because at first I thought I was going to need to pull more cash to pay, to pay for that. I don't have to, because we're able to sell the van for more than I thought. So I don't have to pull anything from this to pay for the vehicle. The vehicle's paid for. So the next thing was like tax, title, and license. When you go to the courthouse, and you have to pay whatever the percentage of sales tax is, the fee to transfer the title, and then obviously he had to register that vehicle in his name. He did turn his plates for his van in, and you get a refund for that, for whatever the prorated portion, but that takes like a month and it comes in the mail. So it's not like that's an even exchange or anything. So I thought that there was going to be a fee, or, I thought I was going to have to cover that with this check. But then we got our state tax return came in and is going to cover that. So I don't have to worry about that with this check. And so, but we still are cutting some things, and focusing on a few areas. So let's go ahead and jump in, and I'll talk to you about what those are. Sorry, that was really chatty. 3:43 is what we need to go to where the content might actually start. Okay, so I anticipate my paycheck to be $1333.95, and my husband's paycheck to be $1473 and 10 cents. Paychecks are pretty consistent. We are hourly wage earners, but we both work 80 hours. It's not really an option to work anything else. I will have a mileage check that comes in probably during this pay period, but I do not know the amount of that yet, and I'm not even going to guess. So we'll just budget out our $2,807.05. It's just with our W-2 income at this point in time. So as we go down into our fixed expenses, in light of cutting things and focusing on other things, don't plan on doing a donation. REC is our electric bill, and I budget $300 a month for that. Car insurance. car insurance has been super fun. So I'm putting aside $325. That's what I've done. It's the premium is due in May. I have set aside $325 for the past 5 months. This is month 6 of doing it. And that's not going to cover the bill that's due May 19th, but we get paid again on the 17th. So I will finish up what I need and get the last of that money from that check. Usually May and November. I mean, sometimes I have to do that because I'm just kind of guessing based off what our last 6 months was. And then I have to obviously adjust it when we get the bill in the middle of April to know what we owe. Our life insurance, we set aside $131 per paycheck. We pay for XM radio in one vehicle at a promotional price, and that's $6.48. It has me wondering if, so my husband's van, which is what he drove every day, could not get Sirius XM. And so this is in his truck, which he actually doesn't drive very often, but it's our newest vehicle. So it makes me wonder if he can get it in his newer vehicle, if he will want it, since he drives that all the time, he will listen to it. I used to have it in my Suburban, and because I'm on the road, like I drive a lot for work. And I just got to the point where I wasn't listening to it. I either had a podcast playing, or a lot of times, especially when I'm driving for work, I sit in silence because I need the silence to feed my soul sometimes in between. So I don't use it. So I used to have it because I can and because whatever, but we canceled it. So it has me wondering if he's going to want to maybe switch vehicles or talk about putting it in his daily driver as well. So we will have to see about that. Our kids' insurance, so that's $40. They are on Hawkeye, and it's $40 a month premium. Internet, I set aside half every paycheck. I think this is going to be going up, but at this point in time, I'm just going to set aside the $30 for that, and we will see what happens when we get into the month of May. School lunch, I put $50 per month on our school lunch account for my son. Amazon Prime, we pay $7.48 per month. For Kindle, I pay $12.83. This is the check that all of our subscriptions come out of. Netflix is $12.83. HP Instant Ink, is $5.29, not $5.92. $5.29. Garbage, the half of our dumpster bill is $41. And then I will owe $30 for the before school program for this on this date. So let's go ahead and add up our fixed expenses. And our total fixed expenses is $1,001.91. So if we subtract that from the $2807.05 that we had left to budget, or that we started with, we have $1805.14 left to budget. So now we pop down into our variable expenses and we cash pull for all of these except for our diesel bill. So for groceries, we pull $280. For eating out, we pull $100. For beauty, I think I had cut that out, but since I don't actually specifically need it, I decided this is my birthday. My birthday is the day before this, so I will be getting a pedicure with this paycheck, which oftentimes my mom will pay for as a birthday gift. She hasn't said anything, so I'm just going to make sure that I have the cash, because this day I'm not going to work my normal short Friday. I'm going to take the day off, and I'm going to potentially donate plasma and definitely get a pedicure. Okay, so we pull $60 for drinks, $140 for my husband and my spending. I will need nothing for work meals. I budgeted, we'll see how it goes. I'm budgeting $30 for car wash because that would be $15 for my vehicle and $15 for my husband's. Now that he has a different vehicle, he may very well want to go through the car wash, so we'll just kind of see how that goes. I'm going to budget $150 for diesel. That's the bill. We fill up my husband's truck with diesel at the local co-op, and then we pay that at the end of the month, and I have no idea what that's going to be yet. He hasn't been driving it very much, so that bill hasn't been very big the past few months. As we get into spring and he's doing a lot more on the farm, that will get that will increase, but right now it's not doing much. But also, if he's driving it for stuff for the farm, then it can come out of the farm account. It gets kind of tricky when we get into field season. Otherwise, typically when he fills it up, I assume it's for personal use and we pay it out of our personal budget. So for chores and donuts, let's see what we got going on here. So chores, I've been doing paid chores of about $5 for my son. We're really struggling. And donuts at $6, making those two together $11 in cash. So adding up our variable expenses. Okay, so that's $821. And then if we subtract that from the $1,805.14 we had left to budget, we now have $981.14 left to budget. So we're going to come on up to sinking funds with that. So we did super bare bones with our last paycheck, so I'm going to make up for that. I didn't pull for Christmas last time, so I'm going to make up for that and put $50 in Christmas this time. I'm going to put $50 away for LP, which is our winter heating cost. For our travel sinking fund, which is our 100 envelope challenge, I'm going to do the 98 this time. Into our sinking fund for kids, $20. Into our sinking fund for vehicle gas, I'm going to put $50. Into our sinking fund for vehicles and vehicle repairs, I'm going to put $131. I'm going to put $53 into the 52-week challenge, which goes into our emergency fund. I'm going to put $40 into our medical sinking fund, $100 into our tattoo sinking fund, and $134 into our sinking fund for summer daycare. And then cash envelopes, I plan to do $258 with that. Oh yeah. Did I? All right. This is, I think it's just going to be like one of those days. Okay. 258, 134, 100, 40, 53, 131, 50, 20, 98, 50. I think I only put 30, or I think I put 50. I know I messed something up now. I bet I don't have, oh no, it says I do. But why do I have $3 more than that? well, this says $9.84. So that is my total for sinking funds. Sorry if that was painful for you guys to watch, which totally means that I wonder if my math is wrong somewhere else. Hang on. Yeah, so down here I have $981.14 and it's $984.14. So I've been messing around on this math the whole time for no reason. Okay, so our total here is $984. $984.14 is what we had left, which means we have 14 cents left, and I'm putting that into the buffer. So because we had pulled stuff from this, what I pulled from was our extra debt payment, and then when I had to do... So I've been looking into summer daycare options, and we've actually been struggling to find summer daycare for my girls because of I moved them, so I lost a spot somewhere else, and they're not where my son is, so I didn't think I could take him there. Anyway, so we've been just kind of trying to estimate summer daycare cost, and now that I finally know what our summer daycare cost is, I was just estimating with my son. They didn't get us the numbers for the summer program where he goes at his school until recently. So what I have is I'm making sure in my sinking fund with this 134, that should give me enough money to cover him for the whole summer. And then I will cash flow every 2 weeks for my daughters, because I have paid for, full-time daycare for 2 kids prior to previous years for however long, and so I can make that work in there. And so I was just making so that fills that sinking fund and make sure that's good, and then I'll cash flow their cost every 2 weeks. So I wanted to finish out that sinking fund. And then what other ones? Oh, so I did more to vehicles than I typically do because we are saving for tires. My husband said that since we are now taking my Suburban, for sure when we go to St. Louis this summer for the wedding, I need tires before we can take it to St. Louis. So we have, so I'm just trying to, I'm almost have enough for tires, but I would also like to not leave that account empty when I pull out the money for tires. So I'm just adding a little bit more to it in the month of May because I had already decreased our debt payments, extra debt payments, because of trying to figure out how we were gonna pay for the car. But anyway, so 2807.05 minus 1,191 minus 821 minus 984 minus 14 cents. That leaves us with a zero-based budget. So that is our zero-based budget going into May 3rd. We will see how accurate that remains, because if you are still here when we close out our April 19th budget, whenever we get around to that, it's nothing like what we originally budgeted that it was going to be. So we'll see how this all goes. Thank you guys so much, each and every one of you, for watching. Appreciate you. Till next time, bye.